train yards, thinking about graveyards. I wonder, Lord, what would they ever write on mine? Another soul laid to rest on a cold Montana morning, just trying to make it north of 49.
Morning, guys. We're just on our way into work here, so gonna go trap a bunch of beavers. I think it's I don't know, it's halfway through April sometime. Got a pretty busy day. We're gonna go deal with a whole bunch of culvert issues. I got a couple more calls over the weekend here, so yeah. And then I've got one or two floats I want to put out. I got one to check here first thing this morning. We're going to go and get right away and see where that takes us. So we're in here to my first set I got set up. As you can see, it's a float. And I don't know if we got anything. Oh, yep, we do. There we go. Nice little 3-year-old. So, there's that. I got one here yesterday as well. So that's 2 out of this location. And I'm actually using my safeties now. Took me breaking a pinky finger to start using a safety, but better late than never. Going on there like I want it to. There we go. Okay, well that's all it is for using these floats, so we'll get on to the next spot. Okay, so we're up at the next spot here that I've been trapping. I had a trap in right here on this spot. Looks like they wiped all the caster and everything off, and I haven't checked the trap yet, but I see they've pushed some mud up against the culvert again, so that's, oh, we did get a beaver. But there's obviously a second one in here, so we'll end up resetting that trap. So I just put a heavy weight I made up there a couple years ago. It works really good for the culverts. That's a 24-inch culvert, so the conibear fits in there good. You set the trap on bottom, you push the springs apart so it holds against the side to stabilize it. Then throw branches or grass, whatever you have, up on top of on the top half of the culvert. Usually I'd take a drill. I don't have the drill with me today, but I drill a hole in the culvert big enough to get a cable through. Just hook it on there. But today we're going to use a bunch of cattail root and grass. And if you take a big enough bundle, 6 inches or so, squeeze them together, wrap around 2 or 3 times at least, and then cinch it tight. That's actually extremely hard to pull out, so it can hold on pretty tight. But I will. So this is another spot. Same idea as the other spots. We have issues here every single year. You can see we opened up the dam last fall, and nothing's plugged it at all. It's still flowing nicely. I saw the culverts just down here where we're getting messed up with stuff, so we're going to go clean them here. But we're not going to set any traps on this flowing water, just because I know there are otter in this creek, and I don't really want to catch any. So we'd have to give them to Fish and Wildlife if we did, which is fine, but try to avoid that as much as we can. So I know the beavers are coming around. They've got fresh mud up there. They got fresh little castor mound just right here. But we're not going to set a trap on here for 2 reasons. Chunks of ice will set the trap off if they're flowing through, or if otters come through, we'll end up catching them. So what we're going to do is try and bait them away on either side in sets that the otters aren't going to get caught in. So again, try not to trap indiscriminately. We're targeting the beavers with sets we know are going to work and not catch other animals. So that's our main goal here. So we're here at another location. This is actually a bridge, but another spot we always have issues every year. I have a crossover I usually set. You can see my anchor stick from last year actually still, but I was going to put a trap here. I don't see any, there's no fresh mud on any of those sticks. There's no castor mounds or anything along the bank here. So there's 2 reasons I'm not going to put a trap here right now, even though I could. One is there's no fresh beaver sign, and I know there's otters come down this creek. And then the second reason is you can see the water flowing pretty strong out of those 2 pipes right there. So once the spring flow stops, the pond leveler pipes will keep going the same way they have been here for years. So even if the beavers do dam this all up, I don't have to worry about this spot till after seeding. So there's no pressure on me to throw traps in here when they're just going to be sitting there not catching anything, or end up catching an otter or something coming through instead of a beaver. So well, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but we're at another bridge here. As you can see, it's flooded up pretty good. We usually come in here, we trap. We used to take care of all the dams, but we haven't done that in quite a few years here. We just take the beavers out every year. But bigger dam up there, and the whole way through this property is all dams, that sort of thing. They plug here at the road, and we have to remove all this debris every year. We take out both sides because we can't reach the middle. But I put a castor mound out in the middle, just on or off the side of where we rip out. And again, there's otters in this creek, so we're trying not to catch them. And then come across, you can see there's pretty good dam there. We're gonna have to apply to the feds to get a permit to blast that later this year, but for now we're just gonna stick the trap in here at the road. Well, we're at the one spot we got a complaint from a ratepayer about the beavers doing some flooding and plugging culverts, and he was right. That's one culvert plugged there, and then looks like the grader smashed ripped the top of the culvert off, but smashed the grate for the pond leveler. And again, here's another one. It looks like 2 of the pipes are not flowing. but the far one is. So I'm gonna try and get those other two pipes going. They're just over in this area here somewhere. I'll throw some waders on and go in. They're probably just clogged with grass. It'll take me 5 minutes to open them up, and then they'll flow like no tomorrow. But even with that one pipe going, you can see there's decent flow. So if there wasn't that flowing there, then we'd have a lot of problems here, because there's actually 4 culverts. There's 2 more just up that way. It doesn't look like there's much flow. So take a quick look up here and see what they've done. The end of the pipes are over here. Oh, I see something. Oh, I think the cage is falling apart. Yep. And the cage is collapsed. That's why they're not all sucking. Okay. It's got suction now. Well, we got them cleaned out. So I'll come back and I'll set some traps and see what I can get out of here. But I know the beavers are living just in a dugout off to the side here. Just the landowner didn't want us to trap last winter, so probably try and catch them here. And if that doesn't work, then maybe we'll end up shooting them on the dugout. We'll get permission that way. But start with the roadsides first. One thing I do need to get is a couple more grates for these culverts. They can't plug inside, they just plug at the front. It's a lot easier to clean up, but yeah, I'm not sure how many grates we have left at the shop there, so I have to work on building some more of those, I guess. But, well, I better get to setting traps, and then we'll be off to the next spot. We're at another bridge here, and we trapped that house, and we trapped farther up the creek the other direction. Just passed along, I see there's a fresh caster mount here, so I wasn't gonna put a set in. Then I started looking, I said, you know what, there's 2 perfect sticks, and I can tie off to there. There's a nice little slot here. I can set it right where this beer can is. So that is meant to be. Okay. And put a dab of my homemade lure on there. Don't need much. This stuff has a pretty good smell to it. I can even get a whiff of it, so I know it's strong. I'm not going to do anything too fancy on here. Just like that. So you can see I got the triggers bent right down, so if he's a little bit smarter, because it does look like a big beaver judging by the size of this caster, this mount here, so hopefully that'll have one. And just a note, if you are trapping in the ditches like I am here, I don't really have to deal with dogs very much. These people here don't have any pets, I know that for a fact. None of the neighbors in either direction have any dogs for about 1.5 miles. And I don't know anybody that walks their dog here. I've never met anybody in the last 8 years I've been here. But if you are trapping in the ditch, do leave some sign. You might end up with a stolen trap, but I'd rather a stolen trap than a dog in that 330. So not as important if you're trapping with 120s or 110s or maybe some submerged footholds, but definitely if you've got semi-submerged or fully on land 330s, definitely mark them. Well, we got a float here. I'm just going to show you. A friend gave me a template to use. Not sure if you can see with the camera angle, but there's mink and muskrat tracks all the way along here. We're just underneath the bridge. I had done a whole bunch of trapping here. This is the East River that we were trapping on. I got told there was a big beaver swimming around here the last couple days by one of the ladies I work with. So I figured I'd give it a go with the float. So I'm not sure the measurements on this, but it was designed to go with the Savage 2001-11 or 12. They're bigger, the bigger trap. So that's what we got here. And I don't know. I like these traps and I don't like these traps, kinda. I've got kind of a love-hate relationship with them. My biggest complaint is the safeties. They tend to spin just slightly, and when the springs fire off, it actually rolls the safety away from the jaw. And with such a little lip on this the safety clip, like, it could very easily miss. So you always have to double check them, just like if you're using an older conibear. The other thing that I've had issues with in the past, if I'm rushing, and lots of times I am, putting in long days or whatever, trying to get these in, and I will actually grab onto the wrong 2 bars, and I've had it come around and smack me in the fingers, and that's my screw up, I know. But with a Belial or any of those other traps, you don't have that issue. So yeah, this trap here on the floats, I like the trigger on the bottom. And I don't know if I designed this very well. Yeah, I don't know, this block of wood seems too big. Stand it up. That's not good. I wonder if I turn it. Oh, there we go. Fits that way. Okay. So it sits in there like that. Put it in water. Now, you just tie off the eyelet that's on the trap here. And that way when your beaver gets caught, it's still attached to your float, but it goes off and away from your float. It's not going to wreck it. And then, next thing you got to do, get some grass and some mud. Mix it together. You can find some good clay that's not gonna disappear on you. It'll work good. There's not really any grassy or weedy material for me, but you can kind of blend these springs in and break the shape up a little bit by adding some grass to it. And same with on here. Try and help keep the caster in play a little longer. And take your lure, same as just a normal caster mount. You're just going to take some lure on it. That's quite a bit, right up on top. On some of my other ones, I've actually taken these little containers, I've drilled 6 or 8 holes in it, and then put a screw through the bottom and mounted it in there, and that way it's kind of rain proof. And also when it's sunny and hot like this, that caster's not drying out on you. As far as tying off, you can go around pretty well anything. What we got here, I'd love to hang it up on that nail up top there. Oh, here we go. There's a 2x4 stuck in the ground here. Old piece of bridge. So I'll just tie it off to there. Nice and tight. Take that crap out. And if I wasn't spending so much time talking, we could have been out here in a couple minutes. So there's the float there. Like you said, 2x4 it's tied off to. So it'll be active, and I'm working.